Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hobby Hotline, episode 168, coming to you live from the Hobby Hotline studios. I'm your pal Val. With me is, well, you guys know Ma, Logan, and Uncle Rich, and Victor. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Let me be the first one to say that 4 days to the National.
Beautiful.
So we're Lou Gehrig away from the National.
What's that?
We're Lou Gehrig away from the National.
Lou Gehrig.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Or Kevin Harvick.
Thank you. I
I'm
would
talking
get
about
that
real
one.
sports, by the way, Logan.
Or how about old school Rex White?
Yeah.
For the guys in the back. All right. Welcome, everybody. And everybody in the chat. Jeff, DR, Jenny, good morning. Texas Card Dude. I thought he was at a show. Where is he at?
He is. He posted. He's in Longview. That's a couple hours from here. He is listening live and posting us to the card show he's at Longview. And it was funny. He posted about, why am I doing the show 2 days before the National? Well, if you can raise extra money and you're not bringing stuff to the National, why not do a show and put a little extra money in your pocket so you can spend more money? That's common sense. Now, if you take a loss at the show, then you got a problem.
Yeah. And he said hashtag skid marks. So yes, hashtag skid marks. We'll get that out of the way. And then the Chick-fil-A, the official tee of Hobby Hotline and Nascar Radio. So how's everybody feeling? It was kind of not a busy week in the hobby leading up to
next
National.
Week, I'll jump in. I think next week's going to be very busy because not necessarily the National will be the National and it'll be fine. But what will really make the National, in my opinion, is that you probably will see for the first time, maybe in 15 or 20 years, a lot of companies making announcements at the National. We know from what we've seen that Beckett's going to make various announcements about various things they're going to do. With a new CEO, a new building that they're going to move into at some point this month, actually August, if all goes well, and other things that they're trying to move forward. I mean, it's been 15 years since their website's been updated, it feels like?
I think 20.
It's 15. It's actually 14, but it's a different subject. But seriously, they have a lot that they want to get off the plate. There'll be other companies, too, that will make announcements. You'll see auction houses talk about some of their high-powered items they will have.
I hope there's going to be a triple logo man somewhere.
I think Golden is supposed to. I think he's supposed to display the ones they had in the auction. So I think there'll be a triple logo man at the show. And, Golden will have great stuff, but he's not the only auction house. I guarantee you almost every auction house is going to display or actively seek out consignments for what they're going to be doing. That doesn't even talk about the average people like all of us. We're just average. We are not. Well, okay, Logan, you are King NASCAR, so I have to apologize. But we're normal collectors. We don't play in the $1,000 per card sweepstakes. We're happy with $1, $2, $3, $5 cards for the most part. We'll be in those boxes.
Yeah, that's true. So are you expecting, do you think Beckett's going to have anything big? Because that's the one I'm going to look at.
New CEO, I'd almost get, and some of the hints they've been dropping, I'd almost guarantee it, especially because I did see Eric posted that he's going to spend an hour on the GTS stage, I think just like we are, about a meeting with, I think, Jeremy and Kumar, I forgot his name, so if I'm getting it wrong, I apologize. There's a new CEO and somebody else, and they've already announced the acquisition of a company that does VHS, grades VHS tapes. So, and I think that's just the first step. I mean, I don't know anything. That's just an instinct that they're going to use the National almost as a reboot.
Well, I know that I heard that the new CEO is going to be walking the floor, trying to get the the feel of the hobby, talk to customers, and get their input. So I have heard that. So I'll be looking for him.
And if he's smart, he'll walk with one of our fellow panelists quite a bit.
Yes, totally agree. Well, he's
had
fun.
And I know that he did the same thing for when he sold the company, and he knew Peter, and he walked with Peter. Goodmanson was his last name for a couple straight nationals. And so if the new CEO is smart, he'll at least do some walking with Jim, especially through the more vintage area, where Jim will know just about everybody in that area.
Well, I know that PSA they have announced that they've got their vault in operation. Apparently, it's in Delaware, so it sounds like it's going to be a pretty nice vault. From what I understand, the service is free as well for any card $100 or more.
Well, remember, Delaware is also the state where all these companies incorporate. So there's probably some tax implications or business implications for doing it in Delaware. Where other states there would be different tax implications. And PSA is going to grade on site. Beckett's going to grade on site. I believe CSG is going to grade on site. And SGC has announced they're at least going to accept cards to take back. So that's going to be something they haven't done. They didn't do last year. So all four of the major grading companies are going to be on their game, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, PSA is going to be taking cards back to the PSA mothership, which they did not do last year.
Right. So well, also, they can actually take cards from mothership that's only about 2 hours away.
Yeah.
The second mothership, Jersey City's only like 2 hours from Atlantic City. So they can actually use, if that office is up and running, they can use the Jersey City office. And instead of having to fly cards cross country or take a big truck, they can drive them. It's a lot easier.
Oh, I'm sure that's what they're going to do. I mean, they're smart. They've already got a game plan. I know that's probably what's going to happen. So I've got not a big, I've probably got 40 cards I'm taking. For me, that's big, but I'm going to drop them off there while I'm there.
One thing I always stressed is PSA. I always said PSA and the other companies would end up at being $15 to $20 someday. I don't think 8 to 10 is coming back, but I think 15 to 20 will. And the reason I say that, and I don't know the numbers for what it costs to grade a card, but I believe it's about $5 total cost to grade any card. If I'm right about that, and you triple that for what you charge a person to grade, which allows you to make profit, to stay in business and do all those other things and keep the lots of people they got employed during, the explosion employed, then you've got to have a lower price point. I mean, you might be able to survive with a higher price point, but then you have to let a lot of people go, or a decent amount of people, for no fault of their own. Exactly. But if you can keep more people employed and busy and generate more, you're actually, it's counterintuitive, but I don't want to say $8 is coming back. It's not. Yeah. I'd be shocked if it came back. 15 to 20 is, I mean, what are you paying, Logan? I think 18, if I remember correctly.
$18 right now, yes.
So that's right in that 15 to 20 ratio that I always said.
Yeah, I'd like to see it get a little bit lower. I would like it to be like maybe 15. I know I'm being greedy.
You might get 12 to 15. If everything is all said and done, all the costs of grading a card between by the time you receive it and the time you get it back is $4, then it's 12 to 15. Yeah. If the cost of goods sold, like your supply costs have gone up, and they have all gone up, that's why I think we're going to end up at 15 to 20, because everything's costing more money to get.
Yeah, I'm sure that just the plastic itself is costing them more money, for the slab. So yeah, it's that's the way it's been going.
Okay, all right, Rich, I was going to say. Oh, Rich, I was going to say, about laying folks off. They have, struggled to hire folks, get them trained, and the last thing I want to do is let train people go. So, but we have a couple of, I guess, stuff in the chat here with Jenny Millers. All four of us are going to the national. And do you have any particular cards you're looking for? And then also, good morning, everyone. Happy Hall of Fame weekend, I guess. I don't know. Is that baseball?
Baseball Hall of Fame induction
Baseball.
this weekend, and football's coming up right around the corner.
Well, talking about finding things at the National, I mean, and I may speak for Val here just a little bit. NASCAR for us is a pretty niche, part of the hobby. So we're going to find things, but we have to dig for them. So I probably will be looking for some nice Richard Petty cards and maybe some oddball things. But for me, mostly it's going to be about seeing my friends, hugging a bunch of people, taking selfies, and just really having a good time and getting away from real life.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking for. I am building a Roberto Clemente basic set registry, which I still need like 8 more cards to complete that registry. And those are the cards I'm going to be narrowing in on. And of course, my huge rookie card hunting, I guess you can call it.
Cool. What about you, Rich? I know you probably you don't collect a whole lot of things these days.
No, I really don't. I just look for things. Frankly, at this point, I think I can make money on. But I'm doing it. I'm doing it as a bottom feeder, so it's always interesting to see what I come up with. To say I collect would be, a misnomer. Like we had the Dallas Card Show a couple weeks ago, actually last weekend, and I had extra money. And as always, when I have extra money, I can't spend it. I spent a grand total of $74 with the standard vendors I buy from, and that was it for the weekend. And I imagine I will multiply that by quite a bit this show.
Well, I fully expect to see you and Dr. Jim and some other folks at the Singles Club for sure.
I'm sure I will get to the Singles Club table. I'm sure Jim will get. The funniest thing with Jim was that in 2019, I tried to get him to the Singles Club table. It didn't work. 2021, he saw as he's doing one of his walks. I said, no, this is the table you need to be at. Finally, I introduced him to George, and I always got George's name wrong, but George's like the head of it. And they worked out, something. And Jim, as you know, spent most of the rest of the show at the Dollars Club buying football that, for his various purposes. He had less competition in football, so he was actually buying more football. I bought more baseball. Everything I bought was sold, as you all know, in January. So, I'm getting to start all over, which is an interesting concept. And
cool.
I'm up to maybe 7 shoe boxes of stuff that I own.
What about you, Val? What are you looking for?
I don't know. Well, there's a few cards that I'm looking for, but they're obscure things that I need for some of my sets, like the 98. Probably can't see very well, but there's a 98 maximum 3-star generals. Is their autograph numbered at 100, so I'm working on that PSA set. So there's a few I'm missing. Just kind of stuff like that. And then probably whatever you miss, Logan. That's one thing about me and you and other folks. I saw somebody in the chat in the nuts like, hey, let me know if you see any Chase Elliott 101s. And I'm thinking, not if Logan sees one. So
it's game over.
Yeah. So there's a few things I'm going, but I'm more toward what Rich does. Looking for the great deals on stuff, maybe stuff I don't have, but that I can't pass up at the price, or going digging through the boxes for certain things that I think. We talk on the show all the time about some of these up and coming rookies, looking for Ty Gibbs and looking for Sam Mayer and Austin Hill and some of these guys, maybe some low numbered stuff that that's one thing about NASCAR is, some people are oblivious to stuff and pick them up at the National because they just want to get rid of it, right? When people get stuff in deals, like just jettison the NASCAR, and I'll keep I'll keep the Pokemon and the other stuff, but just get rid of the NASCAR. So
Yeah.
let's see. Was some in
The
the
only
chat?
the only thing that concerns me about the National is I know in Collin County is we're back to code red for COVID-19.
Well, that's what I was going to ask about if there was anything on the website yet about that, because so what does that mean, Rich, the code red?
That basically means it's the highest priority for doing things like if you want to enforce masks inside, you can do that. If you want to do things like that, it's basically the highest. And it floored me when I saw that come through, because our synagogue posted, in their notes for the week, how Collin County, and remember, Collin County, when this all began, we had our county judge say, all businesses are essential. You all stay open. And it was an extra week before they shut down, when everybody else in the world shut down immediately. So, I mean, if Collin County is code red, and this is before the CDC said something, it's concerning. I'm not saying it's a showstopper, but it's concerning. And I know people are starting to bring up that could be an issue, because we don't know how many people, having lost a couple people I knew to this scourge that were unvaccinated, I mourn for them every day. And I don't want, this is going to be a crowded show. It's not going to be a not crowded show. Plus, if you're on the East Coast, you can drive to it. So it feels safer in some ways, because, this isn't like, this isn't going to be you're on a flight. You're going to be driving. Now, I never really felt truly unsafe last year. And I always had my mask by my chin, so to speak. But it's, I would put it back on, and I suspect I'll be carrying one with me. So if I feel uncomfortable, I'll put it back on. But it's COVID-19 is like that TV show that you want to keep canceling, and it keeps coming back like the bad penny.
Yeah, I'm going to be bringing a mask. In fact, like here today, there's a die-cast and Hot Wheels show that I like to go to, but I am probably not going to go in. And I won't say fear is the word, but I will say that I am concerned about catching COVID, and certainly in this late stage of the game, I do not want to catch COVID. So I will probably not go to that show today. I mean, I would wear a mask if I went, but I want to be well and COVID free come Tuesday when it's time to travel and hit the road to get to the National.
Smart, yeah. Hey, the thing that kind of irritated me, I was talking with Ray from Philly last night, and he asked me if I was going to do any autographs up at the National, and we got into a discussion where it now, and I don't know how long this has been going on. Maybe you guys can share some insight, but I was wanting to look into perhaps getting some rookie cards signed by players, and there is an upcharge for rookie cards getting signed. And I heard about something like that in the past, but this time I was really wanting, I guess this time it just bothered me, kind of irritated me. And how long has that been going on? You guys know?
It's a couple of years.
Yeah.
I know. I saw an email when Claudell Washington passed, and I saw a post by past pros who he signed for on their website, how Claudell always, and this is like 2018 on, always got more money for signing his rookie card. This is Claudell Washington, by the way. This is in the Hall of Fame. I mean, but even he understood that signing the rookie card had an extra value.
Yeah.
And so it may not be as accepted now. And I think we just saw the star of the show with Logan. Logan, what's that delightful creature's name?
That's Bella.
Her name is Bella. She apparently just woke up, and she's come upstairs here to see me.
Yeah, and I guess the bad part is that expense really gets absorbed by us, the collectors. The autographs are already typically a little bit on the high side, and they should be because of the venue, right? But now we're adding, we're paying
Surcharge.
the premium. Now it's another charge for the rookie card, and I'm like, man, so that just unmotivated me.
Having had autographed guests at my show, I can tell you, getting rookie cards signed was always, and I charged the same price. I didn't upcharge. But I will tell you, people always wanted to get the rookie card signed more than a third-year card of the player. I mean, I had Wally Moon like 3 times, and Wally's a wonderful guest and was wonderful. But I think anytime, every rookie card, like I thought in the DFW area of him, the 54 tops, they always sold at my show. There weren't a lot, but everyone would sell and sell because that was the one people really wanted to get signed. Other than my one friend who was working on a 65 top set because his Minnesota Twins was in the World Series in 65, so he wanted everybody from the 65 set signed. But other than him, almost everybody else wanted the 54 tops Wally Moon or the 57 Lindy McDaniel signed.
Well, Victor, I'm gonna tell you, I saw that. I guess it was a few years ago because I had a Reggie Jackson rookie. I think he has an upcharge for that, but that's one of the reasons I do NASCAR. If I don't know if you know this or not, but NASCAR drivers, they do not charge at all. So for autographs, so you can get rookie cards signed, whatever you want. No upcharge or no charge at all. So maybe you have to wait in line, but that's it. So,
what is a NASCAR rookie card? That is the question.
Well, if you watch the NASCAR radio, you'll know it's their first card. So,
all right.
So even Chase Elliott.
So Jeff Gooden's rookie card is World of Outlaws.
Yeah,
that's a tough old card.
Yeah, yeah,
that's an expensive tough old card.
Well, it's not that bad. Those sets are about $50 to $75. They grade pretty good. The 88 is the one. Actually, that's kind of sneaky. That's always off center, top to bottom, and there's 2 different backs. The printer ran out of ink. Didn't tell the guy who commissioned it, and he found out later that there's 2 different color backs on the 88. So, but a lot of people do like the 91. So if you want to be technical about the whole rookie card thing, but a lot of people, we're just lucky they have cards. We don't have all these sets like everybody else, but. Then you have other folks that they just go with Panini 2016 and up. So, again, it's wide open and up to the collector.
Speaking of Panini, some of you may have seen the Panini sent out a letter about redemptions recently, and I'm just curious. I have my own suspicions, but I'm just curious what you all thought about the letter they sent out about redemptions.
Well, I know we talked about it in the show, and I said it before that redemptions suck. First off, so I think it's a value killer to boxes and everything else. But Logan, I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, if you have it up or not, that letter up. But and Logan actually, had some redemptions out there that.
Yeah, I had a Junior Johnson autograph with them that met the criteria, and Junior Johnson passed away a couple of years ago, and so I said, well, I really have no choice. I redeemed it the other day for Panini points, and keep in mind this gentleman is a NASCAR Hall of Famer, and I got 250 Panini points.
And out of curiosity, what type of player can you get for your 250 Panini points?
For me in NASCAR, it would be a low-end driver. People you probably would never have heard of. I mean, just a normal person would not be familiar with. So I was not.
You're downgrading a Hall of Famer to we'll call it a backbencher NASCAR race. Somebody who's in the NASCAR race to fill out the field, but probably may got 1 or 2 wins for a career then.
Yes, that is exactly right. I mean, if you go and look on Panini Rewards, the choices that I have for 250 points are people that have A, never won a race, or B, maybe have won 1 race. So I've gone from a Hall of Famer down to like the lower levels for sure. So
do you all
took a
think
hit.
that is because Panini is starting to think maybe the walls are closing because Fanatics, they know the Fanatics train is coming more rapidly than even they thought, and they're basically left with very little at this point in about a year or so, or 2 years?
It's very possible. I think what they're wanting to do too is I think they're wanting to clear out their backlog. I'm sure that their backlog on redemptions is maybe, I mean, it's not going to be like what PSA had, but I mean, as far as having the ability to fulfill those, I think it's overwhelming for them. So I think for them, it may be a mechanism for them to kind of maybe clear out, maybe start anew. That's probably part of it.
Maybe do away with.
Oh gosh, I would not be I guess what am I saying here? It wouldn't bother me if redemptions went away, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, back to what Rich was saying. If folks didn't catch that email, it was basically low to mid-level stuff. It's now at their discretion. If you don't submit or whatever by a certain amount of time, they'll give you a replacement. So all the high-end stuff, as deemed by Panini, are still, I guess, valued or still try to be redeemed. But they're basically clearing out, like you said, the backlog. And maybe they're trying to get ahead of this, customer service or whatever fiasco.
I don't open new product, but are they still releasing redemptions? That maybe somebody in the chat knows, but I don't know.
And we in NASCAR we have some redemptions, but it's a few drivers and about a handful. But it's not. I guess they just didn't get them in time, but they're usually redeemed within a short amount of time or by the end of the year. Junior Johnson is a different situation, but it's not like basketball and football. You have all these draft picks and guys that maybe they never sign or they have no other cards or very few cards, and then they're out of the sport quickly. So Panini has nothing to do, I guess, other than like the Leaf model where they were suing to get the autographs and they got the autographs. So,
well, the good thing this year is there was an NFL rookie. I don't know the exact term, but they had the NFL rookie roundup. They had an NBA rookie roundup in Las Vegas, so they got a lot more players in person this year to sign autographs on the rookie. So that is going to help, unlike the previous 2 years where it was really just dependent on them signing in the mail. I mean, CD Lamb, the person Leaf sued, was drafted in 2020. Well, there was no rookie events in 2020, and then in 2021, he's a second-year player. So, as I said, those miraculously showed up the day after the suit was filed. So I'm sure that suit went bye-bye. But to Panini's defense, they haven't had the in-person rookie thing for 2 years until this year again.
Okay, that makes sense because of COVID and all that. Yeah,
right. So in their defense, it is going to help, but it is certainly something. When I saw that letter, I was like, thank goodness I don't think I have anything with Panini.
Yeah, I don't know. When I read the letter, I read the letter very quickly, just scrolling. It kind of, to me, it like let off a vibe that this is going to be it for redemptions. But I guess we'll see. They put a September deadline on it, I believe. So we'll see what happens in the future. But I don't know. That's just how I read it.
Yeah, here to answer John's question, I'm just going to read the very first part of the email from Panini. It said, "This is an important message from Panini America concerning certain open redemptions you may have in your account. This pertains to cards of low to mid-level value," and then in parentheses it says, as defined by as defined by Panini in its sole discretion. So Panini is, it's their discretion on what they deem as a low to mid-value level card. And then it also goes on to say that also open redemptions for these low to mid-level cards where service tickets were created on or before December 31st, 2017. So it's at Panini's discretion. So apparently my Junior Johnson card was a low to mid-level card.
At least they're trying to do something, right?
That's what I said earlier. Yes. They are trying to do something. At least I got something for it instead of absolutely nothing. And it's like I think what Rich said a while ago. There is or I think you said it, Victor. There is a September 30th of 2022 deadline. So if you don't do this and ask for your reward points for your cards by then, you just lose it completely.
Well, I was looking at chat here. I got to at least give Jenny a shout out there. Starting to get a NASCAR, watch the dirt race. So,
yeah,
and
Jenny watched the SRX series the other night. It was fun.
And then I don't know if you saw, kind of. Well, I don't know if you were done with the Panini redemption type stuff, but that DR was at Cooperstown this morning at the card show, and Topps David Adams was giving out goodie bags to kids 14 and under with packs and some other stuff. So that's awesome to try to, grow the collector. So
awesome.
And then, go back to what I had kind of talked about redemptions. That redemptions, they kill the value of unopened products, right? They're all ticking down to lower values. I had seen like 2000 SP Authentic. They have the Tom Brady rookies in there. So, but some other brands I had seen, I don't know if it was what brand it was, but in the PSA forums, it was a couple of years ago, somebody pulled a Brady redemption, and maybe it was a Fleer or whatever it was, but it's worthless now. But if that would have been in the box like it should have been, it would have been an epic pull instead of an
epic fail.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but it was.
It
was like the highest. I got a 2000 Tom Brady autograph. Oh, it's a redemption. So, or there needs to be more, documentation, I guess, around who is a redemption. We talked about on the show, like 2000 SP Authentic Racing. There's some redemptions in it, but Dale Earnhardt Sr. is not a redemption, but like Hut Strickland is a redemption. So, you have to look at some of the old Beckett annuals that show that what's a redemption or not a redemption, but need more documentation on those issues if you're going to buy wax.
Not related to player redemptions. One of my all-time, and I may be getting a little bit of this wrong, but one of my all-time favorite redemptions, and it was something that should have been in the pack. In like Stadium Club one year, Topps had World Series dirt cards as their redemption, or something about the World Series. It's like, excuse me, you couldn't get the dirt from the ballpark in time to put it onto the card. It'd be player signature. Sometimes I understand they may have gone to winter ball. They may have had surgery on the shoulder that could goof it up. How do you not get the dirt to put on a card?
Yeah, I don't know. You could have went in the
I mean, I'm going to see if I can look up what set it was, but that's
all right. And well, since we got a little thing here, just in case you missed it, we got 4 days to the National.
So, do you guys want to talk about Go GTS Live and the Scotty Barnes Go Prism Auto real quick?
Yes.
Bring that up. Okay.
You want to recap what that was?
Yeah. Over a week ago on their Thursday show, Go GTS Live pulled a Scotty Barnes Gold Prism Auto out of 10 out of a Prism box. It was number 4 of 10, which is also his jersey number. Originally, Rob said when he pulled it that they were going to give it away, that the chat lit up and saying, whoa, this is at least a 20K card. So later on in the show, Rob said, well, we need to take a step back, see what we're going to do with this card. We may want to give it to charity. We just don't know yet. We're just going to take a step back. So on last Thursday night's show, they actually gave that card away to a viewer. That was their decision. They came on very first thing on the show. They said, hey, we've talked about it. Panini kind of encouraged us to give it to charity. And they were going to give Go GTS I think it was a NT is the NT basketball box to give away to viewers in lieu of that card. So GTS could give it to whoever they wanted to give it to, like Signatures for Soldiers or whoever they were going to give it to. But they said, no, we're going to do what we said we were going to do. We're going to give it away to a viewer. So like immediately they had, you better go click on retweet this tweet now because we're getting ready to give it away. And they gave it away like within the first few minutes of the show. So a lucky viewer did get that card. So they did do what they said, but they also said from now on that they've got a disclaimer, and they are going to, at their discretion, if they pull a 5-figure card, they have the right to give it to charity or do whatever they feel is necessary to do with that card. So it's kind of like what we had talked about, I think, last week. They are going to have a disclaimer now. And so if they pull a card of that magnitude again, which they said they had never pulled a card of that magnitude in the 6.5 years that they have been doing the show. So that was like, one of the most, weird one-off situations that they had ever had. So, but going forward, they do have a process in place to deal with it.
Okay. So as John Newman would say, full disclosure, I have written for GTS. So I will phrase that with, that card was a redemption. That to me is one of the most craziest things. That card was actually a redemption card. They couldn't get it in time for the pack. How do you miss getting stuff like that in? That's what always floored me about that. That was like, I shook my head in those days.
Well, Rich, I'm glad you dug up the dirt on that one.
Literally. Okay, but to defend GTS on this whole incident, the thing with GTS, it's a pure giveaway. Mm-hmm. You're not paying a penny to do anything with GTS. GTS is giving you cards based on what they pull. That is what they've always done. They just happen to hit the monster hit, which caused, allows the dilemma. One of the big differences is, Jenny's asking what the difference is. The difference is backyard breaks. One of the guys in the crop top shirt immediately says, executive decision, we're not giving this card away, even though we promised. That was the biggest difference. Backyard breaks told you point blank, we're going to screw you.
Well, is there any tax liability with this now? I mean,
you should be paying your taxes on it. In fact,
this is like going on Price is Right and winning. Yeah. When a $20,000 car or whatever, taxes are due.
Okay. The other thing was that many years ago, Upper Deck had a contest where they gave away Hall of Fame jerseys. They were worth good money. You got the cards in the pack. They showed you the jersey. I think the first person who got the jersey, it was an expensive jersey, sold it immediately. Why? Because they had to pay the taxes on it. They knew the 1099 was coming.
Yeah. Erica, those back pages. Also, we were talking about redemptions. The two famous redemptions: the Albert Pujols auto rookie card and the Irichio rookie card. Oh, not auto, but still redemption. Okay.
But you have to say that they Go GTS they were not going to do something with that card. They were either going to definitely give it away or give it to a charity, like what they were talking about initially was maybe Signatures for Soldiers. But they did hold fast on what they said they were going to do initially, and that's to me they did the right thing. I think they gave it away, but like I said, now they've got a disclaimer going forward.
And they didn't have that poll. I know they were talking about doing a poll. Did they do that?
No, they did not do a poll. Rob came on and just said, "Hey, we're just going to give it away." You know, Panini was actually advising them not to do that, and they said, "We're just going to go ahead and do what we said we were going to do, and we're just going to give it away like we said," and they gave it away.
Yeah, and I think the hobby, or at least the breakers, they need to like learn a lesson here. This is like the second time this has happened this year. They need to develop some type of policy or procedure beforehand, and it looks like that's what they're doing. But I think across the board, every breaker needs to establish a policy or so disclaimer ahead of time. And I don't think, I think you mentioned that they have the right to decide at that moment. I really don't agree with that either. That's just gonna, what are you really resolving there? And so I don't know.
I'm just thinking that breakers have been around since what, 2016, or they had the breaker pavilion, and how the hobby has changed since then with the breaking and stuff. You know, how it's grown.
You weren't always able to pull a $20,000 card, right?
Think about this is we've discussed too. Don't forget the Wander Franco incident. It was a player. If it had been a Tampa Bay Rays, person, when they got the super short print that's on the same number as Wander Franco, that's an easy gimme. That was a player break. Do you consider the mascot Wander Franco? He ended up getting the card, so they and it was but that's, to me, that's really the fine line, because that person did not put a player for the mascot. He pulled for Wander Franco. That's obviously not Wander Franco on the card. And that's why that one's a little trickier of these three situations. That one's even more tricky.
Yep.
Because the breaker, there's no decision. I mean, it's not the player. I mean, that was that one. So we've had 3 disparate situations come up this year with breaking.
Yeah.
And I honestly think 2 of them got handled correctly at the end. And I still think we don't know what actually happened to backyard breakers, but I think they goofed it up totally by the initial reaction, like, we're not going to do this. When you basically say publicly, we're not going to keep our word, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a problem.
Yeah, I forgot about that Wander one that you mentioned. Or how about manufacturers? How about let's stop releasing gimmicks like that, because in a breaking situation, it causes a lot of heartburn.
Yeah, but you would expect the break to be a team break. You don't expect it to be a player break.
It's true.
I mean, you hit the lottery literally on that. I mean, you couldn't do that much better.
Yeah.
It's, things happen. And it's an interesting point, because we're trying to self-regulate. We've never had a national association. Dr. Jim's talked about this. He was, they always wanted him involved. We've tried a couple times. We never got any momentum for a real national association. And that, trust me, I was a member of some of them. Some of the benefits actually weren't bad. And this is the 1980s. But, we tried a dealer thing in the 90s, NASDAM and SCAI. In the 80s, we had like North American Collectors Club or something. And it was really, I actually got some cool benefits, like discounts at various dealers' tables out of it. It actually was kind of a good thing.
That's pretty interesting.
But we've never been able to get any sort of, we talk about the hobby being mature. Coins and stamps and most hobbies have the American Philatelists Association, the American Stamp Dealers Association, the American Numismatic Association. Where's American Card Collectors Association?
And so what happened to these organizations, Rich?
They eventually just, I want to use melt is the wrong word, but eventually just faded away.
Like lack of leadership or
the early 90s thing faded when the hobby contracted when the baseball strike happened. So we've never been able to pull off a good association. And it's also because it's always been individuals doing cards. We've done fairly well with self-regulation, but it's not perfect. And as we've grown and there's more and more ways to do things, it's harder to regulate.
Yeah, because I've often made a contention about the hobby doesn't really have a seat at the table when it comes to, hobby things, and we just have to accept whatever's thrown at us, and we really don't have a seat at the table or a voice per se. And so that I find that real interesting, because I often joke around that the hobby needs a union.
But
But
every dealer wants to be individual. Every collector wants to be individual. They don't want to join these groups.
yeah,
But the thing is, if we ever actually truly had that would be the next step to help with Fanatics' goal of 10x, is to actually have associations or organizations that work. And I don't want to say Fanatics to do it, but that I think would also help, because you would have more confidence in what you purchase if there's something standing behind it. Right now I go to the National. I'm gambling who I'm buying stuff from is good. I know most of whom I buy stuff from, but still, at the Dallas Card Show, I mentioned I basically spend money with 3 or 4 vendors at the show. They actually put stuff away from me, so I just buy from them, and that's it. And I literally bought from 3 different vendors, and they're literally the only 3 people I buy from the Dallas Card Show, unless I see something interesting as I'm walking around.
I like it, Rich. I like the organization idea. I'll support it 100%. We can get you like a little Grand Poobah hat. You'll be the president.
At this point in my life, I want no part of running anything. 20 years ago, okay. 15 years ago, okay. At this point in my life, I'll help you, but I am not running things at this point in my life. The only 2 things I want to run is try to live my life and stay married and run my small show for my synagogue. That's all I want to do.
There you go.
When it comes to running things.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Switching gears a little bit. I don't know if this is a setup or not, but I'll throw it out there anyway. So this is a question for Victor. The true rookie card for Julio Rodriguez.
I can't. Seems like everybody's froze up.
Yep.
Nope.
We're good.
Victor doesn't hear us?
Victor.
Yeah, I'm here. What?
Well, now he froze up. He froze up for a second.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's it. So I don't know if you have an opinion on that one or not, but
All right, crickets are chirping.
All right, are we back?
yeah.
What was that about?
I don't know, but
We saw you.
Really? You guys sounded like robots, and then you like froze.
it must be a really important question then that it broke the internet.
All right, we're back. Where are we?
We're here. We're at the Hotline Studios.
Show him that question, Val.
Question for Victor, please tell me which card is Julio Rodriguez's true rookie card. Well, it's all of his rookie cards have not even been released yet, so that's kind of hard to pinpoint.
The players involved in the 2000 Bowman's Best Issue, or did he, in the 2020 Bowman's Best Issue, did he avoid that one?
I'm sorry?
Like Wander Franco on December 31st, the 2020 Bowman's Best had the RC logo on the 2020 card.
Yeah.
I don't think J-Rod was in that, was he?
No, I don't know.
So we're going to have a clean slate where his rookie cards are going to be 2021.
For Julio or
Yes.
Wander?
For Julio. Whatever they're going to be, they're all going to be 2021s.
2021s. Oh, are you
2022? I'm sorry. Sorry. When you get older, you try to eliminate years.
Yeah. No,
But I
that's
mean, but we're safe that all his 2022s will be rookies then.
well, yeah. Yeah, and it's it's been a long debated thing and that we've been going back and forth on, and everybody has their own way of thinking and believing, and that's fine too. I know I have my point of view. I've made videos on the exact topic and my reasons why. I have my own convictions, but everyone has their own convictions. So I typically go, and it's not what Victor says. I usually go by what the guidelines say, and I've really done the research to dig all of that information up. And that's what I follow, because I believe that the rookie card should be established by a set of guidelines and a set of principles. And I don't really agree with the nomenclature of the hobby decides, because the hobby's too big and there's too many subjective opinions. And that's how come we keep going back and forth on these topics. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just fun conversation. And if you want the 2020s and the 2021s of Bowman's Best, hey, more power to you. But as for me and my collection, these are the guidelines I go by, and here's why. Because I live on principle and not on which way is the wind blowing today. As far as true rookie card, that is something that what is a true rookie card? I have defined it as rookie cards that comply with the guidelines. That's a true rookie card. Now, what's the most popular one, or what's the most favorite one, or what's the most expensive one? That doesn't really qualify for true designation, in my opinion. A true rookie card is a card that complies with the rookie card guidelines. And as far as Julio Rodriguez is concerned, I have no idea, because I haven't studied that topic, or I haven't really looked into his cards, and his cards haven't been fully released yet. We still have a whole half a season of card releases coming. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. Well, as I said, with J-Rod, he doesn't make the majors till 2022. And using the rules nowadays, his rookie cards, as long he's called up opening day, he makes the team opening day. With the rules we have, his rookie cards are 2022. That's right. Actually fairly cut and dry. That one actually is going to be easy to do.
But if he's in 2021 Bowman's Best, which I believe he is, I'm not. Maybe somebody.
Right, but I don't know if they have the RC logo for him.
Right.
If
right.
They
but
miss
some
that,
people will say, that's the debate. Well, the 2021 Bowman's Best is the rookie card.
Right, but I think in his case we're probably okay. But okay, you see Brad's comment about Michael Jordan.
Are we going there?
Oh boy!
I was going to go with this one first. Hold on, before we get to that one. So who has a Hobby Hotline rookie printed?
There they are.
So we'll be on the main stage on Friday. And
I can think of at least two people on this card that don't have rookie cards.
Yeah, I can think of two as well.
Mm-hmm.
But for the rest, that's a lot of rookie cards. So
yes.
But I think John will have some for sale, or there's a donation to Signatures for Soldiers, I believe. So you can check out the Hobby Hotline social for more information about those. But and I think there's some duels too, right? It's like 19 cards. Let me see. They almost actually look like the 88 Max, so I was pretty excited about those designs.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, if I sign mine, I'm just going to put an X on mine. It'll be my official signature.
And then I guess back to Brad's. So I guess the star Jordan is I guess that's what Brad considers as a true rookie card. So
there you go.
It wasn't
Brad said.
What is that?
Brad said, so that settles it.
Yeah. Again, Victor, not to put you on the spot, it's kind of, even if you say something, it's
right.
Again, it's not. It's an opinion. Everything's opinion. It's like when we talk about the NASCAR radio and some of these ones, they're just our opinions. And everybody, that's what's so great about this hobby. You can collect the way you want to collect. You don't have to. I know there's FOMO out there, fear of missing out, but and to paraphrase Brad, well, you do you. So
there you go.
again,
John,
this is a
Keating,
big hobby.
I
Everybody can
think
enjoy
Brad
it.
is trying to stimulate a discussion.
Not Brad.
Oh no, never Brad.
He can't do that. He has to call in for that. So let's see what else is going on in the chat. Again, thanks everybody who in the chat, in the conversation. So hope everybody's enjoying this. With the national coming up in I don't know how many days now, but that's a joke, by the way.
And we do understand that not everybody gets to go to the national. And we want to point out that we spend a lot of time talking about it, but we also know a majority of hobbyists don't get to go. And it's not just fear of missing out, but it's also a way sometimes for them to learn more about the hobby almost vicariously through us. And it's very important that we talk about the national honestly, but with the understanding that it's a small piece of the pie. It's not the be all, and it's a wonderful show, but it's not the be all and end all of the business. I guarantee you around the country, there'll be plenty of other shows that weekend because there'll be a lot of people that aren't coming.
Yeah, Atlantic City is probably not my most favorite location, but and not everybody like I can go. But if you check out folks' social, you'll see some amazing stuff at the national, and and the news that comes out from it, and so try to keep everybody connected and informed. And that's one thing about the hobby, right? That's why we do the show, is for information, trying to share information, because nobody wants to spend their hard-earned money, and not at least know what they're doing. So
I should also point out we're actually doing 2 shows from the national. We're doing Friday from the big stage, and then Saturday we're going to have we'll find a media room to do our normal Saturday get together.
Yeah, like we did last year.
And with all that, with like what Rich said, playing off of that a little bit, the national isn't the all and be all of the hobby. There's a lot more to it than that. At the same time, as a collector, I'm going to be 52 years old this December. And I can tell you that.
Damn, you're young.
Yeah.
You're old.
The anticipation, I feel like a 5-year-old kid at his first birthday party. That's how excited I am about going to the national this year. And nothing else in my life gives me that kind of excitement. So I'm grateful for the chance to go and really looking forward to it.
Yeah, Eric says that the national is the Super Bowl of the hobby.
Indeed.
Not only that, Eric, but it is hashtag hobby family reunion. And I'll see you soon.
I will tell you that most nationals, every once in a while, the answer doesn't, but probably 33 of the 35 nationals I've gone to, I enter the room and I have to take a deep breath and gather myself for 5 or 10 minutes before I do anything. Thank goodness John Ramirez and B.A. Murray have the first 2 tables, so I can sit there and just get my thoughts together and say hi to people I've known since the 80s and traded with, in B.A.'s case, since the 80s, sitting there. At least it helps where at least I have a couple friendly faces to talk to. Other than that, otherwise I would be probably in a daze for the first 30 minutes I'm walking around the show, and I've only been to like 35. So, it's amazing when you walk into the show.
Yeah.
I think last year because of how I got how I picked up my badge on Wednesday and all that, it was more like, okay, this is like family reunion when I picked up my badge, because when my dear friend Megan, who's one of the people behind the counter, saw me, she said, "I didn't think you were coming." Surprise! And from that point on, it was like cruise control for the national. But a lot of years I am literally just wow. And think about it. If I'm wow, can you imagine somebody who's never been to the national before?
Wow.
Well, Rich, every year, I'm like you, every year that I go, it's just, I guess wow is the word. I mean, I walk in, like when you go to Chicago, you walk down the stairs and you look in and you look around. You can't see end to end at the show. It's not like when you go to the Dallas Card Show. I think Dr. Jim talked about this. It's like when you go to the Dallas Card Show, you can see all the corners, but when you go to the National, you can't see all the way to the end. It's that vast, it's that big, and it's. I won't say that it's overwhelming, but it is. It's just exciting to me. I get
and the thing with the Dallas Card Show, it's not all in one room. Somebody asked earlier in the chat about the Dallas Card Show. And the July show is never, for a couple reasons, the best Dallas Card Show. One, a lot of the higher rollers are saving their powder for the National, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it's hotter than heck in Dallas in July. I mean, we had 109 this week. It's not exactly a cold place to be in. I mean, we had 109 3 straight days. I did see that it looks like the highs for the end of next week are going to be 98, 99. So I'll have to start getting my winter coats out. But it's also not in one room. And, we had a great show for ComC at the last show. We took in almost as many cards as we did in May. People know where we are. But we're in a 125 table room. But the interesting thing is, at least once or twice a show, even in that room, people come up to us. Oh yeah, this is the side room. There's a 400 table main floor that you need to go to. And they think they've seen the whole show with the 125 table room and the Starlight room we're in. And the Starlight room is a pretty nice room to be in.
I like the Starlight room. I found a lot of good stuff in that Starlight room. It was more like a big, normal, just like your local card show. If you had a bigger one, that was what it would be like. I like that room. I like the feel of that room.
Well, the other thing is that many of us, I call it the FOK room, the Friends of Kyle room. Many of us in that room, we all migrated from the big room to that room. The tables are cheaper. We know each other, especially in the half of the room I'm in. Most of us have done a lot of Kyle shows. So we know each other. When I talk about, the vendors I usually spend with, well, usually one or two of them are in that area that I'm talking about. It's kind of fun. But people just look at me and say, what do you mean there's another 400 tables? This was a great show. And they say the 125 table show is a great show.
Well, I just want to, Mark is saying he's already made his donation to Signatures for Soldiers to get his set. And there are no redemptions in this set. And there's no charge. I think they're all going to be signed by each of us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I guess that's going to be Friday, I think. So, and again,
Friday we're on the main stage. That's when we're going to debut and sign and do all that stuff.
And you can reach out to the Hobby Hotline on Twitter for more information about those sets. So, but we've gone past our time. We're in the overtime now. I don't know. Yeah. We need to get a Hobby Hotline overtime siren. Say that we need the siren from Dawsonville when Chase Elliott wins. That's where Chase Elliott's from, if you guys don't know, and they'll sound off the siren when he wins every time.
Or the Price is Right whoop whoop thing they do when somebody wins $25K.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else in the chat? No auto pen, Tom, for the Hobby Hotline.
I think John Keating's doing auto pen.
Well, maybe. So, anything else? So if you missed it, we got 4 more days here to the National. So, all right, guys, you want to take the last few minutes here and promote your channels or whatever you guys want to do here, or we'll wrap up. But I don't want to where folks can find you.
I guess I'll go real quick. I'm on NASCAR Radio with Val and Jason. New episodes come out. We bust them out on Fridays, or actually like late Thursdays, so you can catch us there.
I'm Uncle Rich.
Yep. Go ahead.
You can see me occasionally on Twitter. Usually I'm just retweeting various giveaways because I don't live on Twitter like some people. So, okay, this looks interesting. I like people to win things more than I do. And basically, I'm just around.
And Victor?
Victor on YouTube at Victor, the Rookie Card Specialist. Any social media platform at true_RCS, and my website, truerookiecards.com. Looking forward to the National. Hope to see, if you see me out there, swing by and say hello. Love to meet you and shake your hand. And let's do it. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah. You can find me at NASCAR Radio on Twitter, and looking forward to seeing all you gentlemen in person. And everybody else who follows NASCAR Radio and Hobby Hotline, if you see us out at the National, please say hello. That's like Logan was saying, it's kind of like a family reunion, and just kind of, it's not necessarily, it's about the cards, but it's also about relationships and that goes into that. So, but all right, for me and the guys, let's see, Tuesday, I think, I know there'll be another group here on, and then you can catch us on Friday, different time. I think, I don't remember, Rich, if you remember, if it was 11 or 10.
I think it's 11 East Coast time. I'm not 100% positive, but I think it's 11 on the East Coast, just like our normal time.
The guys on Tuesday should reiterate that time on Friday, and then we'll be on Saturday. So, all right, guys, have a great weekend and safe travels, those that go into the National, and we'll see you there.